President Trump traveled to Las Vegas on Wednesday to comfort the victims of Sunday's deadly mass shooting and to salute those who tended to them. Doug Mills, The New York Times. Want to get this briefing by email? Here's the sign up. Good morning. Here's what you need to know. An opening on gun control. After resisting legislative limits on guns for years, Republicans signaled that they were open to banning the firearm accessory that Stephen Paddock, the Las Vegas gunman, used to make his rifles mimic automatic weapon fire. We explain what bump stocks are, and how he used them. 12 rifles found in the Las Vegas gunman's hotel room were modified with bump stocks, like these at a gun store in Utah. George for Reuters. With photographs and maps, we look inside Mr. Paddock's 32ND floor suite, where the casino regular stayed for free as a reward for his loyalty. We also learned about his gambling habits. He preferred video poker. Here are the latest updates in the investigation. Mr. Paddock's girlfriend, Mary Lou Danley, said on Wednesday that she hadn't known of his plans. She was in the Philippines at the time of the shooting and thought, because he had wired her money and told her to buy a house, that he was breaking up with her. Read her statement. 14 minutes of chaos. Using videos and police scanner conversations, we reconstructed the events that left 58 dead and about 500 injured. We also debunked some rumors that spread after the shooting. President Trump met with victims of the attack on Wednesday. News from the swamp. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson denounced the petty nonsense of Washington on Wednesday and reaffirmed his support for President Trump after a report said he had once referred to the president as a moron. Here's a transcript of Mr. Tillerson's news conference. There's never been a consideration in my mind to leave, Rex Tillerson told reporters at the State Department on Wednesday. Cliff Owen. Associated Press. The Trump administration will repeal the centerpiece of former President Barack Obama's effort to fight climate change, according to an Environmental Protection Agency document. And the White House asked Congress to approve $29 billion in additional hurricane relief and debt forgiveness, seeking to help Puerto Rico and other areas. 3 U.S. troops are killed in Niger. The Green Berets were assisting local forces in their fight against Al-Qaeda's branch in Africa when they were ambushed on Wednesday. 2 other Americans were wounded. Catalan leader seeks talks. Carles Puigdemont wants a negotiated settlement with the Spanish government after his region's independence referendum. He has not, however, offered to shelve his secessionist plan, which Spain's prime minister said was a condition for talks. The Daily, your audio news report. In today's show, we discuss bump stocks, attachments that let semi-automatic rifles fire faster. Listen on a computer, an iOS device or an Android device. Business. Puerto Rico is one of the world's biggest centers for pharmaceutical manufacturing, and federal officials and drug makers are scrambling to prevent shortages of critical drugs made there. The former chief of Equifax called on competitors to offer free credit locks for life. Experience. Reply. Nope. Google has introduced a range of gadgets, headlined by the Pixel smartphone, with the focus on U.S. stocks were up on Wednesday. Here's a snapshot of global markets. Smarter living tips, both new and old, for a more fulfilling life. Want to bike to work and look your best? Bring a change of clothes. A jogging regimen can increase self-control. Recipe of the day. Serve dinner with a loaf of warm, herbed garlic bread. Noteworthy. A sugar factory transformed. In today's 360 video, step inside what remains of the Domino Sugar Factory in Brooklyn, one of the latest developments to change the New York waterfront. In sports, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Colorado Rockies, 118, in the National League wildcard game. Baseball's division series begin today. The Minnesota Lynx won their 4th WNBA championship in 7 seasons, defeating the Los Angeles Sparks in 5 games. The Minnesota Lynx are now tied with the Houston Comets for the most titles in WNBA history. Renee Jones. Schneider Star Tribune, via Associated Press. Finally, we introduce Brian Bowen, who was one of the most sought college basketball players. He's also a central figure in the federal case alleging undetectable tactics in recruiting. Is good taste teachable? Learning to spot beautiful things doesn't require formal training. We spoke to several experts about how to look at the world with the eye of a museum director, judging quality in art or design. One art historian said, is a skill that anybody can develop. Best of late-night TV. If anyone's going to call the president names, it's Stephen Colbert. Quotation of the day, not a lot of smiles and friendliness. There was not a lot of body movement except for his hands. John Weinreich, a host at a casino in Reno, Nevada, recalling the Las Vegas gunman, who played as many as 1,000 hands of video poker an hour. Backstory: on this day in 1947, Harry Truman delivered the first televised presidential address from the White House. Since most Americans didn't have TVs at the time, it was also broadcast over the radio. Here's the full audio clip, a transcript in the Times front page the next day. With winter approaching, President Truman asked Americans to cut their consumption of proteins and grains to help hungry Europeans struggling to rebuild after World War II. President Harry S. Truman appealed for food economies in an address on October 5, 1947. Associated Press: if the peace should be lost because we failed to share our food with hungry people, there would be no more tragic example in all history of a peace needlessly lost. He called for no meat on Tuesdays, no poultry or eggs on Thursdays, and saving a slice of bread every day. Restaurants were asked to serve bread and butter only on request. The broadcast was part of a special on food conservation. Other government officials, including Secretary of State George Marshall, also spoke. A day later, the Citizens Food Committee announced special low-grain but still high-fat White House menus. Among the items: cheese souffle, a coffee meal, a dessert, and perfection salad, or molded gelatin with cabbage. Karen Zurate contributed, reporting. _________. Your morning briefing is published weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern and updated all morning. Browse past briefings here. If photographs appear out of order, please download the updated New York Times app from iTunes or Google Play. What would you like to see here? Contact us at briefing@nytimes.com. You can sign up here to get the briefing delivered to your inbox. Check out our full range of free newsletters here.